Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are back right here on the Value Wrestling on YouTube, and this is your weekly roundup podcast brought to you by the Value Wrestling. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the past week of professional wrestling. Lots to talk about, lots to get into, but let's get into the introductions. First up, the one, the only. Paulus Clarke. Oh, believe that. And of course, our new pro wrestling expert, the one, the only.
Miguel Z.
Oh, and of course, it's me on the Big Tyme. Believe that. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Welcome to the party, Lottie Dottie. Let's get this show on the road for another week in professional wrestling. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. How are we all doing? Any thoughts to open the show, Mr. Clarke?
Is there any better show than Raw this week? When you look at our poll, you look at the four main shows, hands down, the show of the week has got to be Raw.
Yeah, I would think Raw. Some people would not, but I think Raw would have been the show of the week compared to everything else. Some people are disappointed in Raw, but we'll get into that more. Mr. Z, your thoughts on the opening as we open the show of this week, or this past week in wrestling? And no, it's not time.
Do your damn job.
Yeah. I think we all
wake up and smell the coffee.
Something like that. Yes, we need something to be done.
Yes.
Anyway, so it was another week of professional wrestling. I guess the big news is what we're going to get into. Of course, Raw took 3 hours to get us to what everybody pretty much was waiting for Raw to do. We got CM Punk. A lot of people upset that the CM Punk promo was not the CM Punk promo we thought we were going to get. We wanted to get whatever you want to say it was. I thought it was a decent promo. I thought it hit on points. We got a different Punk than we'd been expecting for a while, which was a good thing. I don't think he needs to spew the venom. Again, I've said this before. I think, we had Punk who was heartbroken after leaving WWE. And he was just kind of, when you get broken up with somebody you care about or something that breaks your heart, you kind of go out and react to that. I think, he went scorched earth for a long time. He went to UFC. He tried this thing there. It didn't work out. And he wound up in AEW thinking he was going to make a change, going to make something out of it. And it just went all bad. And now he's home and he's like, this is where I should have been all along. This is where I need to be. I was wrong about some of that stuff. And I think we got a bigger, more mature Punk and all that. But we got Punk back in WWE. Lots of talk about what's going on with Punk's future. We had a good solid promo there. Of course, it looks like Punk and Austin maybe on, maybe off now. Don't know. Maybe Punk faces Seth Rollins. I think that is our main push, and hopefully that's what WWE builds to. If we get Austin Punk at WrestleMania, that'll be great. I don't know if that can be to the caliber of a dream match that we'd all envisioned maybe years ago. At this point in time, it would be different. I can't even tell you who should win that match. Does Austin beat Punk in this dream match just cause, or is this Austin giving a match to Punk for Punk to be able to... I mean, if Punk's playing a heel role, then it would make sense for Punk to beat Austin because then he can live off of that. I beat Austin as a heel and have that. But it's good to see Punk back. It's going to be interesting. We know he's on a good behavior clause, but who really cares? I don't know why everybody's making a deal about it. It is what it is. I mean, you can't be too surprised. He's on a short leash, I'm sure, but I don't think they're neutering him and making him PG Punk like so many other people out here making an issue of it. Mr. Z, what are your thoughts on the return of CM Punk, his promo, the possible matches coming forward, and what do you think we're going to see from Punk going from here?
Well, first off, CM Punk back home, point blank. I mean, no one thought it was going to happen. Obviously, we had to wait till the old man was gone before that phone call was made. The way it went down was perfect. You couldn't tell a better story. His promo was decent. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. He point blank said it after the mic was dropped that he's there to make money and not make friends. If quote unquote neutering him, I mean, it is what it is. This is a business, and WWE's been in business for decades, long before I was around. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening next. The whole talk with Austin and him, like you said, if it's a heel and he can live off that, I mean, hell, Brock Lesnar lived off of breaking the streak. So,
no, I think
okay
it's good. I think it's good. I think Punk, the other thing, a lot of people, he's here to make money, not make friends. I think Punk is just simply telling you he's here to do business. I don't think it was necessarily, and it's an old catchphrase. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, it was either make friends or make money, and we already made friends, so it's going to make money. So I think Punk was spinning off of that a little bit, but I also think the simple undertone to all that was he's not, what he directly said is not what he really was saying. What I think he meant more or less is I'm here to make money, I'm here to do business, more than worry about all the other stuff. And so he's here to have fun, enjoy himself. Mr. Clarke, your overall thoughts on CM Punk's promo from Monday night, CM Punk Austin, CM Punk Rollins. Your overall thoughts on what we see from CM Punk going into the future.
I'm salivating to find out what actually happens. The idea of him and Austin, they can do a bunch of smoke and mirrors and make that a good match or a segment or whatever, kind of the same build that Austin and Kevin Owens had. Like, there's a lot you can play with.
Yep.
So whatever they decide to do, if they decide to do it, I think it's going to be good. CM Punk and Rollins, that's going to be a banger match.
Well, for your ROH fans, I mean, this is a ROH fan wet dream right here, I guess. That's how you want to look at it.
You would think so. I'm trying to remember his ROH name, Seth's.
Tyler Black.
Tyler Black,
There you
thank
go.
you. Tyler Black, CM Punk. Seth Rollins, CM Punk. It don't matter which decade, which era of wrestling that you're interested in. This is still a wrestler's wet dream.
There you go.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a little bit about that decade. If we go back to a CM Punk in Ring of Honor versus Tyler Black in Ring of Honor, you get a completely different match than we'd probably get here. Because you have two different guys in two different places in that time.
Well, I mean, also experience level of the time, et cetera, et cetera. But I still think even then, it would have been a banger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, then it would have been a huge banger. They would have probably tried to tear the whole house down. I mean, But nowadays, it'll definitely be good. I think that's probably what we're going to see at WrestleMania. I don't know if this Punk-Austin thing can come together like they want it to. I think you have a bigger story, and WrestleMania's here for Punk and Rollins, and I think that's what everybody's salivating at. I think you can book that. If you book Austin versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, then I don't know what you really do with Rollins. That kind of leaves Rollins.
Very easy. Austin, Punk, night 1, night 2, whether it's for the World Championship or not, Rollins, CM Punk.
I don't think you can do
On the
that.
card.
I don't think you can do that because I think you're forgetting the main event of that night might.
I didn't say main
Take away.
event. I said on those cards.
I know, but that match, you might be able to do CM Punk Rollins on night 1 as the main event, and then if you're gonna have CM Punk and Austin do something, have them do something midday night 2. Because at least CM Punk would still be there, and then you could have a little thing. But I think your bigger match is going to be your Rollins CM Punk match, and I mean people are going to love Austin Punk or Austin Punk, yes. But I mean that match is going to be it's not going to be very long, and I don't know. It's one of those things you're kind of worried. It sounds good on paper, but if it gets to the ring and it's not what we want it to live up to, it could be a little disappointing.
I mean, do you remember the stunner that Vince McMahon took?
Well, Vince McMahon's taking 1,000 horrible stunners. I mean, you could make a video package out of
That last
Vince.
one, that last one, though. That last one, no.
Took the freaking cake.
Well, hopefully he stunned him right out of WWE for all we care. Let's just Vince McMahon needs to go bye-bye. Exactly. Alrighty. So we've talked about Punk's return. Let's talk about everybody's favorite big mouth that can't keep his mouth shut. One and only Ric Flair making recent comments that were edited out of TV under a lot of heat, talking about why is everybody being negative towards me? If I've embarrassed the company, I'm going to walk out of AEW. I don't think anything's going to happen in that sense, but Ric Flair's there. I'm kind of like Ric Flair's legacy. The longer he hangs around, the more I think it just kind of kills his legacy. I'm like, you've done everything you need to do in this business. Just go off in the sunset, enjoy your retirement, relax, have fun.
He's
go
embarrassing
do what
himself now.
Yes, go do whatever it is you want to go do out of the public eye. It'll be better for you. Why are you continuously trying to make something out of yourself? I don't know what to say about Flair. He really, the comments that are out there, you know, he got up there and talked about having women of age, 20 to 28. If you're single, have no husband, whatnot, come see me in my hotel room. And we're in such a different day and age where he used to say, but he never really said it that directly. Like, he didn't put an age group on it. He just talked about women coming to his hotel room or riding Space Mountain. There's always been this thing with Ric Flair that we've always kind of shoved off like, it's just the way Ric Flair is. But now we look at it and it borderlines on, you're taking it too far.
Look what happened years ago. The plane ride from hell when that was resurfaced on Dark Side, and look what that did to him.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in a different time, man. It's not that era of rock star wrestling anymore.
No. Mr. Clarke, your opinion on any of this?
The thing is, even if he made the Terry Bollea argument about the difference between character and the man himself, Ric Flair as a character shouldn't be talking about this shit at this point.
Yeah, but Ric Flair the character and Ric Flair the person, there's not much more difference anymore. They seem to have blended together in this timeline.
And as I keep saying, the man can barely walk, let alone satisfy a woman, let alone putting the age on a woman. So
yeah,
it seems like the most tomfoolery stuff ever. And that's from a guy who enjoyed Ric Flair's character for the longest time.
No. And it just doesn't help him. He just needs to go away. And of course, what does this make? Does this not make Tony Khan look like a fool? Does this not make Tony Khan look really stupid and even more of a hypocrite? Originally, it was like he talked all the smack about Vince's dealings, and then he hires Ric Flair with all the controversy behind Ric Flair. And then Ric Flair goes and adds this out. Even though it was edited and never made national TV, it still got said in the arena. People know about it. It is out there in existence, but I'm like, does this not make Tony Khan even more of a bigger hypocrite to have somebody the ability to go on a live mic and say something like this? Like, this is where I think AEW is in trouble, is they don't have any control. You know, WWE is scripted. Yes, they are shifting more to letting people do more of a bullet point promo, but it still has some control. AEW is just, the more we watch and the more stuff like this happens, you look at it and go, it's just complete and utter chaos. Because how do you let Ric Flair go out and say something like this? Yes, you got the edited off your program, but you put it out there in the arena.
That was a cat.
Yeah, that was a cat.
Not to cut you off, but it's like, you've heard the stories from behind the scenes. These guys say no. They tell Tony to his face, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
It's a circus.
Mr. Clarke.
The smartest thing that AEW could do, not that they will, but the smartest thing they could do is have Ric Flair by Sting side at Revolution for that one last match. Start doing documentaries with Ric Flair, where he can add to it, but it can be edited when needed, and it's not sitting in an arena.
Yeah.
Something he can add to the history of wrestling. He can add to the present day presentation. If they want,
you've seen it when you've seen it and heard about it when he wasn't even in the limelight of wrestling. Nothing. Poor Charlotte has to take the embarrassment now. Like, you ain't telling me that they ain't coming to her asking her, "Hey, well, your dad's lost his mind. What do you think?"
Jeez. Wow.
How do you think she feels? I mean, hell, Andrade, he's probably sitting there with his hand on his head, like, "Good God, Pops."
Well, I think Andrade just minding his time before he can get out of there and go back to WWE and be closer to Charlotte. Andrade can't be happy in the situation he is, even if he is with CJ Perry right now. It just, I don't know. But my thing is, I just feel like Tony Khan has no control over anything. He just lets the inmates run the asylum, and this is why we constantly have this issue. Let alone CM Punk's return to wrestling. Has anybody been able to find Jack Perry?
Yeah,
Do we know if they're making a remake of Beverly Hills 90210 and he's going to be the next Luke Perry? I mean,
Jack what?
or Dylan would be the name, right?
Mehoff.
But I mean, where's Jack Perry? I mean, indefinitely suspended? Is he just going to be forced to wait out his entire contract before he ever gets to come back? And then
heard he's getting paid. I heard this guy's getting paid big money to sit at home. Or
well, that's because Tony Khan won't fire anybody except CM Punk. But again, then it wasn't even Tony Khan. Tony Khan seems to be passing that buck onto the committee. And now the committee's scenarios come out, and Bryan Danielson has come out. Yeah, Bryan Danielson's come out, and it said that Bryan Danielson voted no on firing CM Punk. So the story gets more chaotic every step we take. It looks like a committee.
I'm going to take it for example about these guys sitting at home. Look at LAX. They split. They had their own differences. The only reason why is because one wanted to stay home, the other one wanted to work, and it got personal. And all that personal did actually draw some kind of money to an extent. So yeah, you got guys who want to be home.
Do you mean LAX or do you mean Pride and Powerful? I know they're the
Pride and
former
Powerful,
LAX.
whatever you want to call it.
But most
Yeah,
people
well, I know
that name.
We know how we. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what split them off, and they had personal issues because one wanted to work, one didn't. They were like, hey, we're getting paid. I'm going to sit at home.
What happened to Mike Santana? Didn't we get all these big promos about Mike Santana's return? Because we had to add his name, Mike Santana, and now where's Mike Santana? He had his fallout with Ortiz on a TV show. They didn't even get a pay-per-view. I think it was like on Rampage, even at that. So they were on the C. They were given their match on a C show, which just basically goes, okay, so Tony Khan didn't really care. We don't know why they added Mike Santana to Santana's name. We built Mike Santana to be something special, and now he's gone. Tony Khan got bored. Tony Khan gets more bored than Vince McMahon does with his toys.
At least with Vince, you know you're going to get 3 months worth.
Well, I do know there is a wrestler right now that's looking for a stable to take on Bray and his. I mean, those boys still under how long do they got left on their contract? They can make that phone call.
I don't know. The chaos continues. You have Ric Flair in here saying stupid stuff, making Tony Khan look stupider and stupider as a hypocrite when you have somebody like that making comments. Jack Perry's still out of action. We don't know what he's going to be. And if Jack Perry happens to be the devil, then that's just stupid. But hey, whatever. I know everybody's
hanging out with Jade Cargill. Big thing off there.
I'd rather be hanging out with Jade Cargill. At least that's going to put me in the right direction of being something, not just a sidekick on a show that doesn't matter. I mean, does Ricky Starks feel important? No, they've killed that. Hell, Adam Copeland doesn't even feel important. We're getting a match this week for the TNT title on Dynamite between Christian Cage and Adam Copeland in this feud that he spent all this time and now he's blowing it off on a TV show. Not even a pay-per-view.
Don't forget, they dropped the F-bomb on TV once again. Like, I'm telling you, you can't tell me that the network ain't happy about that.
I don't know what the network's exactly happy about. If the rumors are true and they're talking to WWE, then that might tell you something. If it's not true and the Warner Brothers Discovery is totally happy with AEW and Tony Khan and what they're doing, I'm very confused because I've got to work at Warner Brothers Discovery going, what are they really bringing to the what is AEW really bringing to the table that's making TNT or TBS feel important? And hell, when the next TV rights deals come up, does Rampage and Collision get its ability to even stay on the air? Is AEW going to lose its TV rights because Collision sucks? Rampage is just...
Collision and Rampage were a deal made with Tony Khan because of the NBA. They had to take some airtime from them, so they might not even come back. They might not even get any more airtime after this.
Well, the Rampage came along and was supposed to be one thing, and then Collision was created just basically because of the whole Punk issue. Now that Punk's gone, Collision doesn't draw anything. I feel like you're burning money there, so why even have that show? Rampage could be used in better ways. Maybe you get rid of Rampage and move Collision to another night if you keep it. But I don't know. AEW needs to go back to Dynamite and just focus on Dynamite.
That would be have them. I mean, we've all said Tony Khan needs to focus, so that could be a blessing in disguise if they did lose Rampage and Collision, but kept Dynamite. We're able to keep Dynamite.
Yeah.
Well, and that means he actually has to fire people, and he ain't gonna do that.
That's on him. I don't care. I mean, if Tony Khan can't grow a set of cojones to fire people and say, or go in the back and go, who wants to be here? Who doesn't want to be here? You don't want to be here. Here. Let's end your agreement. No stipulations. Walk out the door. Go walk into WWE. He doesn't have anybody that's going to hurt him. If an Andrade, a Miro, or anybody that was here, Ricky Starks, were to leave AEW and go show up on WWE TV in a couple weeks, it's not necessarily going to do anything to AEW TV. Is it going to make people pop on WWE? Yes, but WWE's already set on the right trajectory. AEW's just kind of floating. So anybody they lose that goes to WWE, I don't think hurts AEW. They just have to figure out who they want to be and where they want to go going forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell,
absolutely.
You can't give me Kenny Omega in one of the biggest tournaments that, what AEW is selling is one of the biggest tournaments because he's with Jericho and teaming up for the tag titles, but now we're spinning a weird, out of the blue, Ethan Page, who hasn't been important since, I don't know, last year, is claiming that he wants to crown in Canada and get a match with Kenny Omega, which is going to happen on that week's Collision. And it's kind of like, why? Kenny Omega can't be in a tournament where he should have been, since that's one of your top guys. But no, he can have a match with Ethan Page on a random Collision for... Because we're going to Canada, so we got to make all the Canadians have their wet dreams fulfilled. And if you're from Canada, I apologize, but it's just, I mean, I don't know. Anybody want to add 2 cents?
I don't even want to add half a cent to that.
Yeah. Paul, you always say it. You're gonna quote me, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out here. I got nothing.
My question, and it's not a serious one, but could we retitle the Continental Classic to something like, I don't know, King of the G1 Climax?
Speaking of that, you sent me an article, and I'm going to go ahead and state it right now. Rocky Romero said that this is a great thing. He said it's great for business. It's great for New Japan. It's supposed to bring more eyes when the G1 actually happens. He said that New Japan has no beats the hell out of him. It sounds like to me that whole piece was just him tickling Tony so he can keep getting onto American TV.
Well, how does a tournament like this, where they're going to crown a triple crown, which we still don't understand how this works? Is somebody going to forever carry these 3 titles until they lose it, and then they lose all 3 titles? So, I mean, you've just diminished anything that Ring of Honor, your Ring of Honor World title for a program that you're trying to rebirth. So you've killed your Ring of Honor title. The Japan
open weight.
Strong open weight.
Strong open weight.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's non-important. I don't know, but I mean, and then you got a Continental Classic or the Continental title that's coming out of this turn. I'm just so baffledly confused about what the big deal is about having a Triple Crown winner. Like they're making a Triple Crown winner, but nobody's really done anything to be a Triple Crown winner. When a Triple Crown winner is claimed, when you have people who've gone out like an Ultimate Dragon, a Kenny Omega, other names that have gone out and collected multi belts, Matt Cardona, yeah. They've gone out and done a Triple Crown where they've won the titles. This is just like they're so hardcore selling that they're making this big special American Triple Crown winner, and I'm like, none of the belts are important, so why does it matter? You can't take a brand new belt and try to make it feel important in a tournament just because you keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna make a Triple Crown winner."
Well, I mean, he's taking the smoke and mirrors off of the damn ROH belt, but I mean, look at the women's title in ROH. That seems to mean more. No one's really watching ROH, but I mean, from what I've seen, they're making that shit look really good.
Well, shit, that's because Athena's a hell of a talent, but you know.
Who?
You know what, Punk?
Speaking of Punk, that's the best topic of the night. Anyways, let's get into Mr. Clarke. Do you have anything you want to bring to the table this week?
Just little tidbits here and there. Nothing major. So apparently recently WWE has trademarked 3 new names for potential wrestlers down the line. Those names are Keanu Carver, Dion Wilder, and Dion Lennox. At this time, we don't know who they're meant for. If it's just to have 3 possibilities for one person, or if it's 3 separate people, we don't know at this time. But WWE doing business things. Just like I said, keeping those patents, keeping those trademarks going. So Denise Salcedo recently on her YouTube channel had interviewed Trick Williams, and his goal apparently, kind of like when you're in the business, if you're not in there for the title, for the world title, like what are you there for? In his case, his goal is to wrestle Roman Reigns. So he says, I'm going to be honest with you, Denise. I want to go straight to the top, long term. My goal is I want to face off with Roman Reigns. He's the best to do it right now. So if you're not in it to face him, I don't know what you're doing. Sooner than later, who I'm very excited about working with is Gunther. I love the way he carries himself. He really is a ring general, and I love to see us battles to go to war. I told him that too. I'm really looking forward to that day. So I don't think too many people really watch NXT like that. I weave in and out myself. But for the bits that you've seen of Trick Williams, do you see any potential in him to eventually be built to be a main eventer?
Definitely mid card. Definitely that match with Gunther would be a good start. He still needs, the crowd loves him. The crowd's behind him. You see how they react every time he hits
that trick.
There you go. But I mean, that tells you right there what Gunther's done with the IC belt. It means something now. It's back to being the title that means something. So
right now they're selling the World Heavyweight title as the Workhorse Championship, but the IC has that classic history, that rich history of being the Workhorse title. Big Tyme, what have you seen of Trick Williams, and what are your thoughts on him?
I haven't seen anything of him.
Okay.
So I have no opinion there. I haven't seen anything from Trick Williams enough to make any assessment.
And for the longest time, he was kind of playing second fiddle to Carmelo Hayes. But now that they're starting to push him more as a singles guy in NXT.
Yeah.
And he's been, NXT North American champion for a brief time. Looks like they're going to go back that route eventually. I think he's going to eventually take that off of Dominic Mysterio.
I thought they were booking Wes Lee for that one.
Yeah.
You can make arguments on both sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The stronger push, I guess you're right, is Wes Lee.
So, no, I haven't really paid attention to NXT since Black and Gold died and they did the multicolor, even though there's a little resurgence here. There's not much I've really involved in at this time, so we'll see.
Okay, then my follow-up question there is Roman Reigns the type of wrestler like you should aspire to want to wrestle? Is he really that big of a main eventer, that big of a deal in comparison to like back in the day? It's like if you said Hogan, you definitely wanted to wrestle Hogan for multiple reasons.
Well,
Roman Reigns, that guy.
Is Roman Reigns a Hogan guy? Yes. Roman Reigns is on that level of being Hulk Hogan. He is a guy in the company that, getting in the ring with him, you're going to make business. And if you're going to get a win over him, it's going to help propel your career. Now, is Roman Reigns the best? Is Roman Reigns the GOAT? I think you have some better workhorses in that company. I mean, Seth Rollins could probably run around circles around Roman Reigns in reality. Gunther could definitely probably out-wrestle. Hell, there's a lot of guys on that card that I think are probably better wrestlers than Roman, but Roman's finally been booked to be the man. They finally found that way. They've been pushing it down our throat for years, but they finally got the right way. He is your modern era Hulk Hogan. He is your John Cena. He is that next guy that stepped up and played. So, yes, getting in the ring. If you're in WWE, your aspirations are to probably win the world title, but also probably fight a Roman Reigns. If you can get a match with John Cena before he's completely done, yeah. There's names out here. Now they have Punk, so that's another name that you're going to want to aspire to get in the ring with real quick. I mean, AJ Styles is another one of those names. But right now at the top of the card, yeah, you're going to talk about Roman Reigns. It's going to be the main guy in WWE that is is the face of the company and has been branded that way. Is he the best worker? No, I think you have so many other people that can outrank him in a Seth Rollins, a Gunther, a Chad Gable, a Ricochet. I mean, there's a lot of names of people who can get in there and really worth the ring. I would even say CM Punk's a better wrestler than a Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has got. I mean, he's in that John Cena Hulk Hogan era. He's got his 5 moves of doom. It's a little better now than Hulk Hogan did. I mean, at least he has some other moves, but he's got his 5 moves of doom, and that's it. So.
The way I see Roman Reigns is he's the charisma wrestler. Whether you're talking about the physical charisma, whether you're talking about he's got enough on the mic, like he has Paul Heyman to do his talking, but he doesn't need Paul Heyman to do his talking.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Miguel, are you dying for a Paul Heyman on a pole match when Brock Lesnar takes on Roman Reigns and CM Punk in a triple threat? Winner gets
nope.
Winner gets Paul Heyman, or is it a forklift match, or is it a shark cage match? How do we do this match?
Hasn't Paul Heyman already been in the shark cage before?
Oh, he's been in everything at some point in time.
Yeah.
Except on a forklift. I think there's only been one person ever to be on a forklift that I can recall. So
no, you're never going to let
egg me on. Stop trying to egg me on, man. That's not cool.
Dummy. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Z, what's going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Oh man, let me go ahead and pull that up one more time here. All right, so we have finished night 9 in the World Tag League. I'm only going to do your standings for the top 3 teams, and one of them in Block A, it is a 3-way tie for second. Right now, we have Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes with 8 points. Alex Copland, Gabe Kidd, 6 points. Tomohiro Ishii and Toriano, 6 points. Shota Umino and Ren Narita, 6 points. Speaking of Block A, Bishop Khan and Tioa Leona, Gates of Agony, joined House of Torture, which is a Bullet Club subset. Not sure what that means to a lot of people. Because they've been booked like crap. They got their first win, but I think that first win was a hoax just for joining House of Torture. So, I mean, well, best luck to them. I don't know if they're going to come back stateside or not at that point. Block B, you have Monster Sauce, Alex Zane and Lance Archer with 8 points. Tai Chi and Yuya with 6 points. Atlantis Jr. and Sobriano Jr. with 5 points. And like I said, right now, my pick, and they're almost done with this. Going into semis, I'm banking on Lance Archer and Alex Zane to win the whole thing. They've looked great. Their chemistry is unreal. I mean, they know it, they work the big man, little man tag, so I'm all for it. I'll find out tonight and see how it pans out. But other than that, if you want anything else, follow me on Spotify, folks.
Now, if House of Torture is a Bullet Club subset, and you see the Gates of Agony on AEW TV, you almost wonder, like, doesn't the story tell itself to have something to do with Bullet Club Gold? To have some kind of interaction?
It should be at least a Civil War, because you got to remember, Jay White was next off of Bullet Club Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He was sent to stateside after he lost to Eddie Kingston from New Japan. So you would think the Booker man would know what to do with this. But then again,
it writes itself, and he still doesn't know how.
That's exactly what it is. But, they just booked Jay White like crap anyway. So, I mean, who cares at this point? I can't take it. Like I said, I can't even take this tournament seriously with the people they've had booked the way they've done.
Well, speaking of tournaments, we can get back to the Continental Classic, everybody's favorite tournament. So we know coming up on Dynamite, we have an overloaded card. So Dynamite should be something special because we have MJF and Samoa Joe facing off against the tag team of these supposed devil people, whoever they're going to be. We know the TNT Championship's on the line, Copeland versus Cage, and then the women's title, Toni Storm, defending her title, is against Sky Blue. But this week in the Continental Coast League, in the Gold League, we have Jay White versus Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe versus Swerve Strickland, and Roosh versus Moxley. And of course, in the Gold League right now, Moxley's gone 2-0 and has 6 points. Swerve Strickland has gone 2-0 and has 6 points. Jay White is 1-1, and Roosh is 1-1. They both have 3 points. Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe have not won a match, have 0 points. And of course, you look at it this way: Jay White versus Jay Lethal. Can you let Jay White lose here, or even go to a draw? He already lost last week, but if Jay Lethal does not win, he is pretty much out of this tournament because there's only 2 more matches, so he would not have enough points. Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe both would have to win outright right now to even be contenders. But do we even see Jay Lethal beating Jay White?
No.
Yeah.
Not all.
No. You know it's a
Tony
no.
Khan's it's Tony Khan's world, so I don't know. He can do whatever he wants. Realistically, though, no, I don't see.
Well,
Lethal going over White.
even if Lethal and White tie, I don't think Lethal wouldn't even be able. If he were to tie tonight and to win his next 2 matches, he'd be at 7 points. Would be the max. So without a win, I don't see him beating out Jay White. Not after having Jay White lose to Swerve Strickland last week. Now you have Mark Briscoe versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve has won 2 in a row, hasn't lost yet. He's got 6 points. I would assume that we're probably building. I don't know. I guess when we get Swerve and Moxley is probably going to be the big match. I think both those guys are probably going to be the last 2 to fight. They're going to have whoever wins that's probably going to be the main winner there. So I don't see Mark Briscoe winning here. Go ahead, sir.
I got one thing. You say you don't see Mark Briscoe winning here, but it's Tony Khan's world. Knowing him, he'd kill it. He'd get Mark Briscoe that win.
If he let Mark Briscoe beat Swerve Strickland, he would kill all the momentum he's put behind Swerve Strickland at this point.
I don't think Tony Khan cares.
Mark Briscoe ain't winning. Mark Briscoe is even Jim Cornette has a better value opinion, says Mark Briscoe would be better utilized in WWE than here. Moxley and Roosh.
Yeah, but
I'm assuming they're going to let Moxley win. I think what they're going to have, Swerve's going to win, Moxley's going to win. They're both going to be 9-9 with 2 matches left. They'll face whoever they haven't faced yet, and then Swerve and Moxley will probably have been undefeated until their last showing, and then it'll come down to Moxley and Swerve for the Gold League. Everybody else in this is Jay White's a joke now. Jay Lethal is the bigger joke. Mark Briscoe is just comedy relief for Tony Khan and a favor to the fact that his brother passed away. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Roosh is not important. Roosh doesn't have any importance. Now that doesn't mean that these guys aren't talented and they don't have historical reason. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying in this tournament and the way these characters have been booked recently, half of these guys on this thing don't have any meaning. You could have just, I don't know why Tony Khan just shouldn't book the tournament to book it in single elimination to get to Moxley and Swerve at the end, because we're seeing where this is going. The Gold League is going to be Swerve and Moxley. Whoever wins there, which is probably going to be Swerve, is going to go on. And if they give us Bryan Danielson from the Blue League and we get Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland to be the first one, that fool in that, I hope he gets rid of that eye patch next week. That's all I care. It was stupid. It kept sliding all over the place. It was pointless.
They were ranting last night about it.
I know. I'll rant on it again. Oh my God. This report.
I mean, it's not compared to your rant on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. The folks I know that watched it that night, they were like, bro, you could go for a couple hours on that rant. They were loving it. Like
Tony-
they never thought that someone could heat you up that bad.
Tony Khan's already tweeted out as of December 1st. Thank you all who have made today's AEW All In on sale a huge success for AEW at Wembley Stadium. Our 2023 tickets on sale was in May. This time we began 5 months sooner. On day one, AEW has already sold over $4 million in tickets, just getting started, and All In is 9 months away.
Now,
He's
I don't
more
know
concerned
what
about that.
we've known this. He's shown that's what he's shown on his shows. But I heard the initial number something like 40-something thousand tickets. So it's like half of what you did last year. I mean, it's a nice start, granted, but you have all these months to continue to promote, to continue to hammer into people's heads. I'm like, for us as an audience.
You got to remember too. Look at I want to take what just happened in Chicago. Look what happened with Survivor Series. It was sold out already, and then just on the hint of Punk might be there, they had to open more seats. It's still sold out. Like you were talking to Figures the other night, it was unreal.
And didn't they sell out like 3 times over because they kept opening seats?
Yep.
Okay. Popular AEW star suffers 5th consecutive loss. When Daniel Garcia going down the drains with his 5th consecutive loss to Andrade El Idolo, the Dancing Fool. Hopefully this leads to a new character. Hopefully this turns him in the direction where he gets to be something viable, or hopefully he runs out his contract and goes to the E.
The thing is, the E only had so many slots. So like they have to be choosy on who they bring in anyways.
Well,
Daniel Garcia is calling.
Daniel Garcia would at least fit in the NXT right now, so you could hold off on him for a while.
But even NXT only has so many slots. Again, yeah, I don't know about their Performance Center slots in general, but
hell, the WWE
They just cleared out.
I got it. WWE could revitalize WCW and then have a 4th brand. And everybody went dead.
that is my argument to that. No,
We
I didn't say it.
Oh.
I wasn't verbal, but I was like doing the whole yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
We didn't see anything in that moment. Yeah, I mean, why not open a 4th brand? I'm sure they could get a TV deal, right? They got everybody arguing for them. We could have WWE on 4 different networks.
That would probably make it hard on us, but that's good business for them.
Oh, I mean, look at all the people that they can start a whole nother brand with all the people leaving AEW wanting to come to WWE. I mean, it's just a fact. We are headed into a place. I mean, Tony Khan's doing it to himself, if anything.
Absolutely.
He's wearing steel-toe boots to keep shooting himself in the foot.
Okay. Interesting analogy.
What? All right. So I didn't realize this. So all next week, all the shows are going to be from Montreal. Collision will be taped on Tuesday, December 5th, the night prior to Dynamite. This Tuesday on 12/5, live from AEW. It won't be live because it's a taping from the Center Bell in Montreal, the Continental Classic, Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston, and this tournament match. But it will be, Collision's going to be a recorded show on a Tuesday.
Why? It's not like it's around Christmas.
No.
It's not even airing live. It's being recorded for Saturday.
And we've seen how recorded shows.
Where's my son?
Unfortunately, we know the answer. You don't even have the intrigue of having the mystery of who booked it. We know who booked it, unfortunately.
Oh. In other news, WWE news. Let's talk about WWE news. Drew McIntyre upset that he wasn't on the new Royal Rumble poster. Drew McIntyre unhappy. I'm like, okay. I think this is all storyline leading into a disgruntled. I think a lot of people are thinking Drew McIntyre is leaving WWE, that he's not going to resign. But I think what we're getting is everything's playing into this new Drew McIntyre character where he's trying to be the tweener, the baby face, but he still has these things. I mean, I think that's what he showed when we found out Jey Uso's getting a world title shot. And it kind of snapped. I think this just all plays into that. So...
Speaking of good booking and bad booking, Drew McIntyre, he's been being booked quite well, I think.
Oh, I think we're on the right direction. Something different. It's going to be really good. Yeah. Can we get something like this for Bianca Belair now? Anyways,
here we go. Here we go.
Shall we talk about baby fever? Lots of babies have been born. We know that Sammy Guevara and Tay have their babies here. Alexa Bliss and Ryan Cabrera, their babies here. Shut up. And of course, did you know that Matt Riddle and his new I don't know if it's his wife or what, this doesn't say, but yeah, they had a baby this past week.
Away.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
I know. I said your name. I didn't mean your name, but yeah, we get it.
Well, congratulations to them. How long do you think it'll be before we see Alexa come back?
I don't know. It'll probably be a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what she will do. We will have to wait and see how that plays out.
Back in shape. That's also coming up with creative for her that had nothing to do with what creative was going to be for her.
Yeah,
completely different.
If anything, she'll be on the Raw after WrestleMania, or she'll come out after WrestleMania. I don't see her showing up for the Royal Rumble this soon. Other news.
Speaking of Matt Riddle, real quick. Speaking of Matt Riddle and his clouded train of thought, you've seen the tweet, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. We already know Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle gets on. He's almost just slightly above Feed Me More, man.
Jeez.
We know the stupid tweet. So, I mean, he wants to talk about, you're going to hire Thiem Pump, but not, you're going to fire me. Whatever. We don't care about you. You're a dumb nut. And you put yourself in that position by saying that you got sexually assaulted at the airport. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a difference there.
Was he high when that happened? I mean, was he hallucinating baby elephants?
No, he was drunk.
Oh, okay. Still, was he hallucinating? Did he eat the worm?
I don't know. I don't know what mushrooms you ate on or whatnot. In other news, it looks like we're going to get to finally see Roman Reigns. It looks like he's reported for at least 2 SmackDowns in December. And I guess we're going to get ready for Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, which should be fine. It'll help add to the Royal Rumble legacy, or the Roman Reigns legacy going into WrestleMania, where Cody Rhodes can then defeat Roman Reigns. And then after WrestleMania, you can have a Randy Orton be pissed off that he didn't get to beat Roman, and then turn on Cody, and then you can start the Randy Orton feud for the title, which would make sense.
Perfect. We'll take it.
Yeah, this is true. AEW is doing the same thing that Ring of Honor, that WWE did to ECW. They're ruining the original brand and killing it. What it once was, just like the terrible WWE version of ECW. And in a picture, Tony Khan goes, I know best. Yes, you think you do.
I still have the picture. I was in fear for my life.
Oh, God. Wah, 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 wah.
Alrighty. I don't know if there's anything else to bring to the table. I don't know if there's anything else.
No, we'll just get ready for Raw.
We got about 10 more minutes here to kind of fill up the hour. Yeah, Raw should be good. We know that CM Punk's going to be on this week's SmackDown. We don't know if he'll be on Raw. So that'll be interesting to see. He will be on SmackDown, so we'll have to wait to see there. We'll have to see what Randy Orton does this week. We're maybe going to get some in-depth into who the Devil is, because we know 2 guys are going to come out and wrestle for the Devil. Will they be unmasked against Samoa Joe and MJF? Will they not be unmasked? Will it be any good, or will it be a swerve of a swerve of a swerve? And how many people are actually working for the Devil? Who knows?
Speaking of the Devil, you've seen that everyone's trying to say it was Wardlow, right?
Well, they're trying to say the one guy that got in the big guy that got in the ring that was smacking the bat was Wardlow. And that's fine and dandy. It could have been Jake Hager for all we care. So, I mean, it is what it is. Feed me more, man. He's a freaking idiot. Feed me more, man. I'm going to retire if CM Punk comes back. And then he goes, no, I mean, if he came back to AEW, you're a freaking liar. Not going to retire now because he meant AEW, you're a freaking liar. And then he goes out here and goes, no, I'm just a good businessman. You know why I'm a good businessman? Because I got all these trolls talking about me. I just simply put this out here. Fine. You put the information out there to troll the trolls. Good job. But you're not a good businessman. You just got lucky. You really did. You just got lucky that CM Punk showed up and you could back out of your little comment and got everybody talking about you. It's the most relevant you've been in, 10 years?
Isn't this the man that tilted,
you know what?
That damn near broke CM Punk in half?
Oh, yeah. This is the most he's been relevant ever, I think.
You know, I was going to ask real quick, since we still got the time. Is this going to be the first time we're going to see the Money in the Bank contract expire?
I don't think so. I think we're still waiting for the twist on this. We're still waiting to see where, where Damian Priest falls out of the bloodline. They're still hanging on that tangent. I think we're going to see a Money in the Briefcase be stolen. I think somewhere in this, depending on when Damian Priest goes out, I think somebody's going to take it. I mean, why did Rhea bring it down the other night? I just think it's going to be some weird... There's going to be a twist, definitely. I don't know if Damian Priest is actually ever going to cash in the Money in the Bank the way we think he is.
Good, but it'd throw me for a loop if Finn Balor tried to cash it in. I mean, he is... he only had the title for like a day.
It's going to be real interesting since CM Punk's back. That throws a wrench into a lot of plans of how Damian Priest would even cash in. We know the story with Cody in that direction, so it's going to be really interesting. I don't know if we don't get Rhea losing her title at some point and then stealing Damian's briefcase and cashing it in for herself to get a match back. That could be a very interesting swerve coming forward. So, I mean, there's a lot of things there that are he's going to be another failed cash-in. I don't know how or where, but it's one of those things we're just going to have to wait to see how that plays out. Well, gentlemen, what are your final thoughts on this week in wrestling? Mr. Clarke.
Yes, getting ready for another week of wrestling coming up. We're back again tomorrow night for the Raw review. So getting prepared and seeing what happens and seeing how they unfold the stories, whether CM Punk comes on Raw.
I'm off tomorrow. You mind if I jump on with you folks or just let y'all tag team it again?
If you're going to be freed, you're going to be there, you're going to be able to watch the show and be available at 11 o'clock p.m. with no distractions or interference. Yeah, we can do it.
All right, I'll put a pin in that and I'll let you know later tonight.
Sounds good.
Right.
But yeah, we will be back tomorrow night with your Monday Night Raw review. It'll be me and Mr. Clarke and maybe a special guest and Mr. Z, so be ready for that. Otherwise, this has been your week in wrestling. This has been your Value Wrestling Weekly Roundup. Round it on up. Yeehaw! Anyway, we are here each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to bring you the week in professional wrestling. We thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. If you're watching this later, we thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give us your time. Make sure you go ahead and hit this like button. I only see one like. I should see at least 3.
And 7 people right now. Folks.
I guess we're frozen on the interwebbies here, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just one end. Okay, we're all types of why. Okay, there we go. Everything looks like it's moving again. We're doing good. But anyways, this has been your Value Wrestling. This has been your weekly roundup. We thank you for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Value Wrestling family. We'll be back tomorrow night with your Monday Night Raw review to cover everything that went down on Monday night. We appreciate you being here. We're going to get out of here. Until the next episode, we'll catch you on the next one.